Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at the Super Mini-Pla set for Live Boxer from ChouJuu Sentai Liveman. This is the second main mecha from this series, the first being Live Robo, which I've already reviewed the Super Mini-Pla for that set. As you can see here, you get Bison Liner and Fire, which are the two mecha that form Live Boxer. And then on the side, it shows off that Live Boxer can actually combine with Live Robo to make Super Live Robo. So not the most inventive name, but the form looks really awesome. So I'm very excited to get a hold of this set. This was a premium Bandai exclusive. This one was not normal retail. I've kind of noticed that how they've been doing this is they're doing the main mecha at retail, in this case Live Robo, and then the secondary has been premium Bandai. We just saw the same thing with Kakuranger, where Muteki Shogun was retail, and then I apologize, whatever the Japanese name is for the Ninja Megazord was a premium Bandai. So I'm wondering if they're going to do a similar thing with Mega Ranger, because we just saw that the Galaxy Mega and Galaxy Delta are going to be retail. So if they decide to do the Mega Voyager, again, I'm mixing Sentai and Power Ranger names, I apologize. I wonder if they'll do a set of that as premium Bandai. Kind of seems to be their MO recently. But again, this set looks fantastic. Just showing off the box real quick. I did open it already because I thought there were going to be smaller boxes inside, but there isn't. I guess because this was premium Bandai, they just put everything inside the box. So if you look inside, this is the craziness that awaits me, but I'm actually really excited. This set looks super fun, and once it's done, I'm very excited to check out the combination with Live Robo to make Super Live Robo. So we'll definitely be checking all that out once I get this built. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll check back with you guys in a minute. So here we have Bison Liner, and here we have Fire. Sai being the Japanese word for rhino. So there's not a lot to these guys. The other ones kind of had actual animal shapes, whereas there was the eagle, the lion, even the dolphin to some degree. These are just kind of like vehicles with heads sticking out the front of them. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love them, but I just think it's hilarious. There's not a ton to show you as far as this mode is basically what I'm trying to get at. They have nice rolling wheels, they roll very well. You have the rhino head sticking off the front here, nice gold painted horn. You have these two guns, which are kind of like rocket launchers. They can move up and down as well as spin around. Well, I guess they don't actually spin around because they have kind of a hexagon, and these are rectangular, so they don't actually spin. But they can move up and down. Otherwise, that's really it for this guy. As far as Bison Liner goes, not too much going on with him at all. Just kind of, again, rolls nicely. Has this headpiece on the back that constantly wants to fall off. That's kind of my only complaint about this set. This is supposed to attach here, and you can see that there's these tiny little nubs, and then that's supposed to fit like around these little spots here. And it's supposed to like keep it in place. And I mean, it's not terrible. It'll stay, but I feel like if you nudge it at all, it pops like right off of there. So, and I think the reason for that is just because the way this piece extends, it like hits into this. If there was just a little bit more space, I feel like that would have fit better, because I feel like it wants to connect, but because this doesn't have enough clearance, that's hitting into this. It's not a huge problem. It's just a minor annoyance. Otherwise, though, both of these guys look really cool. I love the colors. But again, there's not a ton to them. They just kind of roll and look nice. But they do combine to form a Live Boxer, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is basically take these guys apart, remove the two guns, and you can put them down, unplug the rhino head, and that's just two pegs here that peg into these two peg holes right here, so put that off to the side, and then you can split these apart. These will become the legs. So there's not too much to do with them. You just kind of put them off to the side for the moment. To come over here to Bison Liner, you can take this headpiece off. This whole piece will come off. Unpeg the bison head. which connects exactly the same way as the rhino head did. And then you're going to split this in half. And you can see that they just peg together in a couple key spots. So you take each piece. The first thing you're going to want to do is you have to fish out this piece right here, which can be a little difficult. And really it's only difficult because it's hard to get a grasp on it. But if you have anything, well, there you go, I got my finger on it. So basically this is the head, and you can see how there's a track on both sides. And that just goes on, there's a little track, it's very hard to see it, but right there and then right there, and it just slides in and stores there very nicely. So there's also one over here. This one's a little bit easier to get out because this one just pegs in. You can see the peg, and then there's a peg hole way down in there. It's hard to see it, but, and again, that's just for storage. So those pieces, we'll put them off to the side. They'll come back into play in a moment. You're going to take each half, and you can see that there's kind of a fist located in here. This whole section, first you have to push the wheels in, and you can see that that's going to reveal a peg when you push the wheels down. Then you can see that's eventually going to peg into this here. So the fist assembly will come down, it'll peg into that, and then you can go ahead and just fold out the rest of the arm. This is going to fold over like this and peg in like that, and then you're going to rotate the arm down, and this will be the front of the robot. So just like that. Come over to the other one, do the same thing. Oops, I have to fold out the fist first. That is a key component. Fold the wheels in. Oh, you know what? You have to do it first because see how there's a little clearance. So you have to make sure that that peg will clear first. Then you can rotate it around. Peg it in. Rotate that down. Move this over. Peg this in. So at this point, you can see that there's a little gap here. You're going to take that head piece from earlier, and you're going to slide that right in there. Very simple. Just slides in like that. Then you take the other half and you peg them together. And so now you have, oops, you know what? I forgot to do something. That's my bad. Leave that there. Bring in your legs. The other piece that you took off, you can see here is a kind of crotch plate. I just have to remember how exactly this pegs in. Is it like this? No, I think it's like this. Yes. So you take, you can see how there's a little ball joint right there, and you plug this in. And then plug the other one in as well. And then you're going to take this, and you can see that there's a little channel right here, and you're going to just peg that in there, and then you can go ahead and peg these together with that inside. Missed a key step there. Guy needs legs. Okay, so we're going to zoom out. So you can see we have most of Live Boxer done. You're going to take the two animal heads, for lack of a better term, fold the wheels in like that, and then you can see how they have one large peg in the middle, and that's going to peg in right here. So that goes ahead and attaches right there. Do the same for the other one and peg that on the front. And the nice thing is you can angle these to give you a little bit of stability, which is nice. Take your kind of harness section from the top of Bison liner, go ahead and fold these wings in, and then you're actually, you can see how there's kind of a slide here. You're going to push this in, and it's going to slide all the way up. I wish it clicked into place. It clicks into place when you pull it all the way down, but it doesn't click into place when you push it all the way in, and that's kind of a shame because it can still do things like this. So I kind of wish, see how there's kind of a little indentation at the end there to click it into place? It doesn't have one down here, which is really a bummer. But you're going to fold this down like that, and then this big tab here is going to peg into this little hole behind his head. So you drop that down, peg that on there, and that gives you your chest plate. And then last but not least, you're going to take this little head, and you're going to, you can see the tracks right here and here. That same track that we used for the storage earlier is now going to be used for that. Let me move the camera up. And here we have Live Boxer. He does have kind of tiny arms. I wish his arms were just a little bit longer. They give you these giant fists, and they say, oh, replace these fists with this fist. I don't really know what the point of that is. I mean, if anything, I think this fist just draws attention that the arms are even shorter. I mean, I can show you guys what they look like real quick. It's a simple peg. But I don't know, I just feel like that makes his arms look even shorter, and it just kind of looks goofy. And plus now he can't hold the guns, because with this arm, because of the open fist, he can hold the guns. So I don't know. I don't know what the point of these second fists are. They're included. It's nice to have them, I guess, but I personally don't care about them. I would rather just keep those. I do wish his arms were a little longer. I understand why they're not, because of how he has to transform. But overall, I think he's cool. He's definitely a giant block, which is goofy. But, I mean, he's Live Boxer, so he is aptly named. Here he is next to Live Robo. I think the pair looks fantastic. They're about the same size, as you can see. Look good, very colorful. I'll give him his other gun for fun over here. So, I think both these sets are fantastic. I love this so much. I think both of these vehicles are fun. I love the combination of the two. Even though there are some pieces that kind of have to get put in and don't just naturally like transform by flipping out, they have perfect storage spots inside of Bison Liner. So very nice to keep track of them. I don't think you're going to lose them anytime soon. So I really do appreciate that. I don't mind if there's a little bit of like building as you transform, as long as everything goes somewhere in both modes so you don't lose it. And I really feel like he comes through on that. But I think the two of these guys together look awesome. Now, of course, they can combine together, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I've gone ahead and removed all the accessories from both of them. There's really not any transforming to be done with Live Robo. Everything kind of clips onto him, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I'm just going to kind of put him a little bit back. I left him in robot mode. The directions tell you to start from the two vehicle modes again, but a lot of the transformation steps are the same. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these apart, unpeg the two torso pieces, unpeg this. So you're going to take these off of the ball joint, and you're going to take the head off. So I'm going to replace these pieces back where they go. So this one goes back in here along that track. And it's a little difficult to see the track sometimes, even like right to the untrained eye, but there we go. So slide that right back in there for storage. Come back to this one, and you're going to want to peg this back in where that goes. And this one's kind of nice because it guides you. You really can only peg it back in one way because it has that empty space for it, so that's nice. So what you're going to want to do, open these back up, and they do have like this tab here clips into this, and sometimes it really sounds like the plastic is going to break, but just be careful with it. So you want to fold the arms back up, rotate them, oops, not that piece, unpeg. Okay, it's not unpegging, come on. Okay, I popped it out of the thing, but that's very easy to pop it right back in. There you go. So rotate this back in. Then once you have that, you're going to close this up, and then there's actually a big toe that you fold out of here. So there you go. That is kind of a shoe, boot, whatever you want to call it. That is going to go on Live Robo. Man, it really sounds terrible sometimes. It's usually fine, but it does sound terrible. All right, unpeg these. This is really not wanting to come unpegged today. There we go. Okay, put this back down and then fold out the feet. So put all these pieces off to the side. You have your two boots. What you're going to do, you can see inside here there's a little peg. There's a peg on the bottom of the foot, and there's a perfect clearance for the feet. So you just put them in and then push it down so that it pegs in. There we go. Slide this in, and then push it down. All right, and there you have your 2 boots. That's probably my least favorite part of the transformation, just because I think it looks a little goofy to just have those 2 giant boots on the bottom, but it's not bad. Try to angle this up a little bit here. The next part I think is actually really cool. We're going to go ahead and take the 2 legs, remove the 2 animal heads, put them off to the side. Take these, this whole front section will pop off, and then you're going to come around to the back, and you can see that there's 2 pegs on the back, and you're going to peg these onto there. Very simply, like that. You can see that there is a gray peg on the inside, and you want to do it with the wheels facing out, so that's how you can tell that this goes on the right hand. Straighten out the arm. Go ahead and plug this into the fist of Live Robo. Do a better job than that so it doesn't fall off right away. There we go. Actually pegged in that time. Then you slide this whole piece down. Oh, okay. Alright. The reason I had to start again was because the lion's paw, as you can see here, should be pegged in more. But the nice thing about models is usually nothing breaks, you just peg it all back in. So let's try this again. So when you peg this into his hand, as you do there, you want to make sure that the paw stays down because there's clearance. Oh, you know why? That's why it didn't work, because I pegged this on incorrectly. That's what this little nubbin is for. It's for the clearance of the paw. So now that that's pegged in correctly, and you push this down, it'll click into place, and it'll reveal the new fist. And then that is his new arm. So you're going to come over here, unpeg this piece from the back, peg it on correctly this time, straighten out the arm, peg that into the fist, slide this down, that clips into place, and there you go. Now we have our 2 arms. Now you kind of have to make sure you have clearance. This next part's a little tricky. You put the wheels back out from the 2 heads, and then this peg in here is going to peg into this peg hole on the shoulder. Okay. Do the same for the other. There we go. Now we're going to take this piece. We're going to pull this back out. We're going to take this, and it has to drop in this little section here. So it needs to go over Live Robo's head. And then it comes down. You want to fold the panels back. Actually, I think you leave the panels in. Yeah, I think you leave the panels in. And that becomes a new, like, crotch plate. And then you take this and you slide this over the head of Live Robo. Simply like that. And there you go. You have Super Live Robo. I think it looks very cool. I like it quite a bit. I particularly love the way the arms like clip in and then slide up to lock in place. I think that's fantastic. Like I said, the boots are a little goofy, but I don't think it's that big a deal. I think it looks cool, gives him the extra height that he needs. And I think the shoulder pads are very, very cool as well. So I think he's awesome. Now you can bring the accessories back in. You can put the sword from Live Robo in there if you like. Unfortunately, the big giant guns from Live Boxer can't fit into the hands because of how all this boxiness is. But you can peg them into the original spots from Sci-Fire if you wanted. And you could just have kind of like a big wrist gun. So, I mean, that's an option for you. You also have the shield, which I think would still fit in his hand. Let me see if I take the gun off. Yeah, it still fits. It looks goofy because at this point the The arm is almost as big as the shield is, but it can hold in there. And then you have the little guns from Live Robo, which if you want, can still be stored on his back if you prefer that. Let me see if I can go ahead and get this connected on here. So if you like that look, what was that? That's strange. I'm noticing some red paint on there. But you can store these back on here if you like. That way, if you like the look of the guns on the back, you certainly can do that. So I think it's a great set. I love the fact that you can combine these two guys together. I think Live Boxer looks great, but I love this combined form. The shoulder pads and the arms are my favorite part. I do think the boots are a little goofy, but they still work. But I love the whole torso and upper part of this combination. Really, really cool. I think the Live Boxer set is a lot of fun. The only thing I really have to complain about is I wish his arms were a little bit longer in Live Boxer mode. But if you just give him the super giant guns, you don't notice it as much. But I think it's a really fun robot mode. I think both the vehicles are really fun. The transformation and combination with Live Robo to make Super Live Robo is really great. So I can't recommend this enough. I've been really, really impressed with all of these Super Mini-Pla sets. And I've caught a little bit of Super Mini-Pla fever, and I'm getting all kinds of new sets all the time. It's hard to keep up with them. It does take a bit of time to put these together. I want to say probably all told maybe 4 hours to put this whole thing together, but that's just like casually while watching television. So if you were really trying to get this done as fast as possible, you could probably do it a little bit faster. But I feel like, to me, this is a nice way to relax. They're meant to be fun. Just kind of sit down, throw on something in the background, whether it's a podcast or a TV show, and just have fun building these. And the toys that you're left with when you're done are very impressive in my opinion. So I definitely recommend picking up Live Boxer and Live Robo if you can. Live Robo was normal retail release. Live Boxer was a premium Bandai, so he might be a little bit harder to get a hold of at this point. But if you can get your hands on them for a reasonable price, I definitely think they're worth it because they're both really impressive little model kits, and I had a ton of fun with them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.